Hello and welcome to the United of People. Hopefully, we've got new content to give you about part three. So yeah, it's a bit quite loud in here, but yeah, we're going to try to cover it. We're going to let you hand it over to hear the part three of the story. Hopefully, we can get part four if there is one. But yeah, we should wrap this up.
Good evening, or good day, or good afternoon. We're back in the hotel with Mr. Wayne, and we're just talking about his wife and his family. It's like a good setting, and yeah, it was good. And when I went back to my room, I got a telephone call from Mr. Pascal, the guy that Mr. Wayne had emailed for, and yeah, he had his telephone number as well. And he called me and said, Are you in New York?" And I said, "Yes, I am in New York." "I don't believe you." I said, "Okay, guess where I am now?" And Mr. Pascal said, "Where are you now?" "I'm right next to Mr. Wayne." "You want to talk to him?" And I just put the phone over, and Mr. Wayne said, "When's the gold coming? Uh, what time?" And Mr. Pascal just put the phone down, and I took the phone, called him back. I said, "That's your client you're talking to. How rude are you?" And I said, "Why don't you speak to him?" He said, I haven't got the heart to tell him that can't be, we can't not release the plane because the taxes have not been paid." I said, Mr. Wayne's listening to this. And I said, "So you got me from UK to New York here saying everything's ready to go and the gold's coming Monday. Now you tell me it's not. So why don't you tell him, and why don't you get it? Why don't you hand the phone over to Mr. Wayne and then speak to him? He's open-minded. He'll listen to you." No, you can't do that. You can't tell him the truth." "Well, I'm going to tell him the truth," and I put the phone down. So Mr. Wayne, we discussed it and he said, "Okay, Robert, what we do, if the gold doesn't come Wednesday, I'm not angry with you, and I like you. And what we do, if the gold does not come Wednesday, I will fly you back to the airport." And so that's what we discussed. Yeah, it also fell in place, and then we waited for Wednesday. And Mr. Wayne said, "I'm going to drive you back in the morning."
And what year was it?
2011. I remember that well because the taxi driver, we're backtracking. When I went to Manhattan, which I didn't know was New York, he showed me where the 9/11 was. Just space. That was an eye opener to me. Anyway, back to Mr. Wayne. Wednesday comes, the morning comes, and it's about 12 o'clock. There must be time to check out from the hotel. So Mr. Wayne and me got in the taxi, and we started our journey towards the airport. And then the taxi driver was speeding. Mr. Wayne was on the phone. He's a millionaire. He was dealing with diamonds. He didn't hide it. Actually, you hear him on the phone. And then what was happening? He was actually trying to sell a hotel.
Did you thought like with this gold thing that you're gonna get a little bit out of it, or did you just do this in your own willingly? Like,
Well, my hopes were high. You can imagine. Yes, I did think I was going to get out of something. Out, I would get something out of it. And Mr. Wayne said, "If the gold comes, I'll take you to my refinery, his refinery, his boys. Obviously, he employs a lot of people. They would check if it's real gold, and then I said to him, "Can you put put it in a tax haven offshore? Because I can't take the money back to the UK because they'll probably have a go at me or tax me or something." He said, "Sure," but then that's what we discussed. But it didn't come to that. As is the story as it goes, Pascal let us down. Mr. Wayne wasn't. He was. He didn't say he was disappointment. You know what I'm gonna say. He was upset, but he had a good heart, and he just went with the flow. So that was a bonus for me. I was lucky because it could be anybody else with anger and could have said, "Oh, you got to pay for the hotel. I'm not taking that foolishness from you. You could be a liar, and you got to find your own way back." Could have said that before I went to meet him, couldn't he? And I'd be stuck 2 weeks in the airport. So I'm now in the taxi, as you heard. Mr. Wayne's making deals, buying diamonds, selling hotels. Had to go at the taxi driver. The taxi driver slowed down. We got to the airport, and we both were into the airport because America's a big place. So wherever Mr. Wayne's come from, he's got to fly back. We both shook hands. And we parted. And this is where I was sort of lost. I didn't know what to think. I've got 5 days to stay in the airport. I'm thinking about the security. Are they going to jump on me? Are they watching me? I've got things are going through my head. It's really it was terrifying. But before we get to the next part, there was a guy sitting on his own. He had a Bible, and it was a Quran. I actually saw him reading it. I know a bit about Quran. I only said to him, "How are you?" And he said to me, "Don't speak to me." So I thought, I'm on my own in the airport. Don't know anybody. Bit lost. Fear what's going to happen to me. And then I asked the question again. "Oh, you're into the Quran, the Bible?" He said, "Yes." And he said, "Do you know about the Quran?" I said, "Only a little bit." And we began to talk about it. And he said, why are you here?" And I explained to him about the gold run. He said, "You poor thing." He said, "Have you eaten anything?" I said, "No." He said, "Listen, I'm living in the airport." I was shocked when he said that. I said, "How can you live in the airport?" He said, they don't, you think they check security, they don't. Don't worry about the security. I've lived in this airport for nearly 2 years. If you do something suspiciously wrong, and you look out the crowd, then they act on you. That's what he was telling me. So I actually relaxed myself. And he said, "Listen, what I do, I get up in the morning and I go to work and I come back at 5 o'clock. If you're still here, I will bring you some food back. And I promise you I'll bring it back." And then what he did, he kept his promise. He turned up, because I was still there, I didn't move. And then he gave me some food. And, well, we'll go to the next stage. Part 4.
when you said that you was didn't have no food and that, the guy helped you in the airport. Yeah, when he helped you in the airport, did he ask like any other things from you, or is just he just come to help you and give you food like where you was there for those 5 days?
No, it was like strange. I didn't expect him to help me. People don't. You go to Britain, you go on the streets. Some people just look down on you, don't they? But he opened his heart to me. And there's not all bad people in the world, because some people do give to homeless. I've done it myself. I'll give 50p a pound. I did it the other day. So he opened my heart to him. Maybe because I know about the Quran, maybe he didn't see me as a threat, because you know this. We had these. There was a terrorist attacks at that time, so that could have. Who am I? He made me thinking, who am I?
I could judge.
Why are you questioning me? So he had a bit of fear, but then I let him know, I'm just an old person like you, but I'm stuck in a predicament. I just want to get home. When he come back, as I said, he gave me food, and he said, I can go anywhere in the airport. And I thought, I didn't ask him what he meant by that. He said, I can get into the showers, I go into playing the computers. And I said to him, how can you when there's security? He said, if you act odd around the airport, that's when things get a bit hairy. But if you look like blend in with the passengers, no one takes any notice. Now, I remember Dad said that if there was a bomb dropped in the airport would be locked down, everybody get out. So he makes sense. He made sense. So I was really relaxed. And then what we do, that night I met an American guy. Because I went towards to get a coffee and a burger. I didn't have any money. I was thinking it'd be nice to have a burger or a coffee. I can't keep asking him for food, could I? So I didn't ask him for money, but he gave me food. That was very gracious of him. Anyway, I was talking to this American guy, and my family, one of my mother, she looked after Princess Anne for a week, and the guy listened to me about my story about part of the royal family, and he was amazed. He said, do you want a burger and coffee? This went on 20 minutes talking, and then he said, thank you very much for that story. And he asked questions, what was it like? How was it exciting for your mother? Things like that. And I just went into a bit of backdrop of the story. And yeah, he offered me a burger and a coffee. And then he parted his flight, and I'm left there on my own, and I just laid down and went to sleep.
So after you done the gold run, did you go back to England, and how did you feel about when you got back?
Well, it's a long version of that, because I walked around the airport and I met some amazing people, and I helped one person as well. But we'll go part 4 when I was in the airport for around 4 days, and I'll tell you what happened. It will open your eyes. And don't fear the world, because that's what people do. We live with an open mind. Anyway, to part 4.
So
fuckers, I'm gonna make a shit.
So yeah, hopefully you get to hear the part 4 for the next clip, the next podcast. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe and like, and hope you have a nice evening, and keep checking up on our channels. This is for United for People. Keep tuning in. We are
Of the people.
of the people. So yeah, we out here.